Baltimore.
Well, Greeny, Zay Flowers has yet to practice this week. It's Thursday. The game is Saturday. That tells you that it is unlikely that he's going to be able to play on Saturday, barring some unexpected turnout. Now, it's not a long-term injury, and if Baltimore can advance here, my belief is Zay Flowers could be back for the divisional playoff round. But this game Saturday night against Pittsburgh looks like it's going to be difficult for Zay Flowers to make it back in time for. As for Jordan.
Yeah, this is really frustrating. And to my knowledge, it's already been reported that he won't be playing, that he's already been officially listed, out. Which is, man, if you're a Ravens fan, it's so frustrating. I know you definitely have the belief, and understandably so, it makes sense so, that you can win this game without Zay Flowers. And you should. The Steelers have not been playing great, and the Baltimore Ravens have. You have Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, etc., etc., etc. But you still want to be full strength. You still want to be in rhythm. You still want to be connected with everyone. This is just not things that you want to have to deal with. And when we look at all these other teams, for the most part, all these all-time great teams that have, went on their own Super Bowl runs, whether it's the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Rams, 49ers, whatever it is, it's like you're typically not dealing with this stuff. Occasionally, and don't get me wrong, like, you have teams overcome, bigger issues than this. I get like the Philadelphia Eagles overcoming losing Carson Wentz for the entire playoffs, but it's still just extra stuff that you're like, we can't have this right now. And you want Flowers, quite frankly, you want him to get grounded and situated in a game like this versus the Steelers. A game that shouldn't be incredibly difficult for the Steelers. Let's just be real about it. Or for the Ravens versus the Steelers. Like, this game should not be all that complicated. I think it's still the playoffs and it's still the Steelers, and so who knows? But if we're really just taking a very robotic, analytical view of it, this game should be an easy win for the Ravens. And you would then want someone like Zay Flowers, again, to get reintegrated into playoff atmosphere football for when it really matters against the Bills, the Chiefs, the Super Bowl, etc. So you do lose that. And that is a real thing. And it's not like Flowers is this seasoned veteran who's been in the league for 3, 4, 5 years. He made mistakes in the playoffs. That cannot be denied. He made really, really costly mistakes in the playoffs, and you want to see him be able to have a playoff game where maybe the stakes aren't as high because it's just a lot easier of a game. So, this is frustrating for just multiple reasons. And but again, at the end of the day, it's not the biggest deal because you should be good enough to win this game without being 100%. But it's a frustrating thing, and he is the number one wide receiver, the number one, target in that regard, Pro Bowler. And it'll be interesting because if the Baltimore Ravens win this game and Lamar Jackson wins this game, and plays well, history won't remember that he was missing his number one wide receiver. They won't use that as a frame of reference as to one of his successes. And if he struggles in the passing game and they can't get their offense going as much as they would want to, they would also not be like, well, he was missing his number one wide receiver. So this is definitely kind of a, damned if you do, damned if you don't type of situation with Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens going into this playoff game. But again, anytime something is a victory for the other team and the other team's fan base is happy about and the coaching staff is happy about, it's a loss, for you. Like, there's not a single person who's either rooting for the Steelers or a player on the Steelers or a coach of the Steelers that's like, everyone's happy about this. Everyone's happy that they don't have to worry about this wide receiver now, this weapon. Like, it's a major benefit for the Steelers. We can take the bro mentality of like, it doesn't matter, everyone's injured, everyone's missing players, we're missing so and so. Like, sure, if you want, you can take that trajectory all you want, you can if you want, but the reality is that this is actually a huge loss, a frustrating loss, and absolutely puts the Baltimore Ravens more on their back foot. It changes their game plan. It changes their approach. It changes Lamar's approach. It changes everyone's approach. And it's just one extra thing you have to deal with in the playoffs, and you don't want to have to deal with that. There's already plenty of extra things that you have to deal with when you're in the playoffs. And so adding another thing to the list, the whole point is to check things off the list. And now the Steelers, oh, we don't have to worry about Flowers. Check. They get to check things off the list, whereas the Ravens have to add things onto their list. And it's, again, it is what it is, and you got to deal with it. But it's okay to admit that it's frustrating. I think in these types of situations, people just try to take the, if I close my eyes and plug my ears, it doesn't exist. And it's just like, you see this every single year. People try to be like, everyone's banged up, right? Like, which is funny because one minute people will be like, oh, so-and-so was injured, he's playing hurt, and then they'll be like, well, everyone's banged up, that's not an excuse. And then when Patrick Mahomes has an ankle sprain or whatever and plays well, they're like, did you see what he did on an ankle sprain? And it's like, well, I thought you just told me everyone's injured, so it doesn't matter. So always interesting to see what these types of storylines are and kind of how it will unfold in terms of the narratives that are constructed around this. So I look forward to seeing that. But yeah, I think there's still plenty of other weapons for the Ravens to be able to utilize. And I think even missing Zay, they should still find a way to win this game pretty convincingly and feel very comfortable and confident. The only way that doesn't happen is if Russ really rewinds the clock, or if the Steelers really do have voodoo magic against Lamar and the Baltimore Ravens as a whole. But it does feel like this is the 100% the Ravens game to win or lose. And I'm curious now that he's out, if that actually even changes the spread at all in terms of like what the mathematical predictions are of this game now in terms of at least points and favorites. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Zay being down for the game against the Steelers and kind of what it means for the Baltimore Ravens moving forward? Do you think it'll have an impact or not? Does it matter or not? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.